What's up, guys? This is Acidic Cruise. It's time for part 6 of Let's Play Donkey Kong Country. So, we're heading into the climax of the game, and in order to get there, we do have our second minecart stage. So, this one can be seen as simpler because you jump out of the cart versus jumping with it, but, you know, there are things that cause trickiness to both stages, so... I've got a handful of videos that are coming on the channel. September's always been a month that I've liked, and that kind of leads into October, which is another one. And then, of course, you know, pretty much most of autumn. That is a pretty good season. I mean, just the way the trees are yellow and the cool weather, and you're wearing, you know, long sleeve shirts and that sort of thing. But you know, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's autumn as a reason just because of how, you know, hot it is. But, you know, I still appreciate the season. It's going to be fun doing these next sets of videos, and I got a game over. So, you get to see that. But, that was the lead up from the last video. So, starting fresh and anew, we're going to tackle this stage again and see what happens. But, yeah, I mean, I'm ready to take care of the next couple of months, but it's gonna be some funny stuff that's gonna start happening. I mean, I had more burp videos, but I'm trying to figure out how I want to do them, because I don't know if I'm just gonna do, like, you know, 3-second burp videos or what's gonna happen. I've got some more Sega videos and that sort of stuff coming, but yeah, I've been playing Halo recently, and Griffball is too insane. And that was something I played like 10 years ago, was Griffball on Halo 3, and that's still just as funny as it was a decade ago, which is really the thing. I mean, the noise that the hammer makes, just most of the stuff that's involved with it, and it's very hilarious, humorous, comedic. So you're going to be seeing some of those videos and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I subscribed to someone, or Frenchie subscribed to someone, and he passed along the information to me, D-Ranker. So, D-Ranker is a YouTuber that does a bunch of betrayal videos and just goofing off in Halo and Call of Duty, and I thought, you know, that, you know, there was a time when both of those games were like magic for me, but I kind of dissipated with that, and I'm thinking, you know, I need to get back into that. I mean, the way video games are now, the first-person shooter, Call of Duty is not the #1 game of the year anymore, and neither is Halo for that matter, and I thought, you know, why not bring some of that energy and nostalgia back? Both are things that we need. So, you know, furthermore, one thing I like to do in the Halo series is betray people. I've done it basically since I started, basically since Halo was available to Xbox Live in 2004. I was doing it, so good 13, almost 14, you know, 13 years it's been happening, and you know, that's something I want to continue with. The problem with it is like everything else that's trying to get, you know, a tidiness about it. We're trying to organize and, you know, there's a word for it I can't think of, like sanitize, you know, YouTube and Xbox gaming community. People are getting pissed off with the quitters and the suicides and the betrayals in the Halo series, and now you can actually get banned from Xbox Live for doing it. So, you know, you throw a grenade at your teammate and it kills them, you could be kicked off from playing Halo in general, which I think is pretty pathetic. You know, some people just don't have a sense of humor. I mean, this MLG stuff is just getting ridiculous. I mean, you know, 10 years ago, you could play a video game at 2 o'clock in the morning and not worry about, you know, especially Friday, Saturday, you could play a game at 2 o'clock in the morning and not have to worry about not having it. I just don't understand, you know, what the difference between 10 years really made here. I mean, or, you know, the only thing people want to play is Slayer, so, you know, there's just, you know, 200,000 people 10 years ago, and that just diminishes to solely the people who want to take this game overtly serious. And obviously it sounds like a debate, you know, you almost have that like in a political debate, but I mean, this applies to video games because, you know, we're trying too hard to sanitize some of this stuff, and, you know, obviously this makes an awkward experience. You should be able, I mean, it's not like if you don't want to play on this map and you quit, that you should have to play with a bunch of people who are going to rape you. I mean, that is, you know, obviously you know when you're going to lose, so it's just a matter, you know, now they want you to waste the 12 minutes and, you know, play the game despite if you like to or not, which I think if I paid for the game, you know, I have the right to decide what I want to play. And, you know, you couple that with the fact that if the other people don't agree with you in the veto, it's like, oh, well, it becomes more about, you know, fairness and being polite more so than just do what you want. So, yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff. It's, you know, that's been something that's been occupying my mind, but Halo and Call of Duty are really like the only games left that are recent that I give two shits about. I mean, I don't know what's up with Super Mario Odyssey. It's been a handful of years since we've seen a new Donkey Kong Country game. I mean, I think the last one was Tropical Freeze, and that came out in the Wii U days. So, you know, really, there's just so much different junk going on. I mean, it's getting tougher to figure out what games we want to play. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you know, more than I've let on, the thing that pisses me off the most is just not being able to betray people. I mean, you know, people getting butt hurt just because you threw a grenade at them and they want to kick you off the service. I mean, it's not about reaching level 50. I mean, that's the whole thing. If that is your goal, you know, you gotta look at life a little differently, a little bit more maturely than this, I've got to be the #1 Halo player in the world. I mean, it's not like that's gonna get you a trip to Paris, you know. I mean, you think Major League Gaming could, but, you know, the whole thing is, I mean, being the best at a video game only goes so far. So, but, you know, Bungie didn't give a shit. You know, that's the whole thing about them. Bungie didn't really seem to care. You could do it as much as you wanted, but I mean, I like Halo 5 for the purpose that it has 24 players, but I don't at the same time, just because, you know, I don't appreciate the misconduct that they're getting onto. Just kind of the same shit that YouTube's doing. I mean, for, you know, eventual children and younger YouTubers who are going to be watching this, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, you know, being 8 and being 10 and being 12 is one thing, but YouTube's going to be around 6 and 12 years from now. So when you grow up and you get tired of the Lego games and the Minecraft videos and the Super Mario videos, I mean, you're going to be left with nothing because shit's too family friendly. So, I mean, it's kind of, you know, a lot of content creators are really trying to, you know, get into this mindset of, you know, we need to tackle this now, but, you know, the censorship is getting too broad. So, with anything, you know, YouTube activism is important as any other kind of activism, but, you know, censorship is never going to get us very far. I mean, just look at shit like the FCC. I mean, you don't want Tom Cruise saying, you know, fudge when someone shoots him in the knee. I mean, that's just common sense, you know, it's not what movies are about. You just have to say, you know, as an adult, you know, there needs to be precautions. But so, and speaking of Tom Cruise, you know, he's got this new American something movie, I forget, like American Minded or something like that. I mean, it's good to see that, you know, patriotism and nationalism is getting across in, you know, even the movie society. I mean, with all the shit that's been going on. I mean, Trump has been really, you know, making people have strong opinions and stuff. So, you know, it is important because, you know, if more people are aware of it, that'll sway things to be in the right context. But I mean, it's not so much I have a super strong opinion, I just don't want to not be able to do something for fear of it, like, you know, someone sticking their nose up at it. I mean, if I want to burp, I have every right to do that, you know. It's gonna tackle a lot of things. But I'm also trying to wonder, you know, how I should tackle sophistication and that sort of thing, you know. Whether or not it's, you know, it's time to start talking about, you know, the fine wines that you sip and the most expensive clothing you have, and, you know, some of these things, you know, the best hotel that you've slept in, you know, that sort of shit. So it only goes so far. I mean, I looked at some of these top YouTubers who seem to be doing this sort of thing. Like, I would have thought Keemstar was one of those folks. I don't know what the hell happened to him, and, you know, Logan Paul and all these different cats. I mean, I have a taste for, you know, these big cats, but no. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna handle another 3 stages on this final world. So if you pay attention, it's got a pretty green hue to it. And we finally see Rambi again, but you're not going to see him very long. So it's probably only like the 3rd stage that he's been in this entire game. So would have been useful. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, activism, it's not, I guess I'm losing my point. I mean, it really does even come back to video games. That's like the main thing is, you know, I watch other folks and they keep complaining about the stuff about video games, but I mean, it's a serious issue when you realize, you know, 6 years from now it's only going to be like 2 games a year that you even want to play. So I mean, I know that gaming didn't have this problem back in 1995, and I know it didn't have this problem back in 2003, but, you know, it's just getting tough trying to find that stuff. The PS4, I mean, that's the whole thing. There's so much different junk going on. I've never owned a PS3. I've thought about it, but, you know, I thought with Blu-ray it was always, I didn't see, you know, what was the calibration to needing it. Just another one of those things that just makes you a, you know, a big boy if you have Blu-ray, but, I mean, here's the thing, is kind of, I don't know, I'm just losing my point. I mean, it's easy to get philosophical, but, you know, when you lose your point, it kind of makes you just look like you're just being introspective, and that's not really what I'm trying to completely do. So, but back to Donkey Kong Country, I mean, you know, I've missed a lot of the bonus stages, but they're all over the place. Mostly, the only real stages you won't find them in are the water stages. And so, we got this last little stage right here, and then from there, we take care of everything else, so. I mean, there is a contrast to this first game to the second one. I mean, they did stuff in this one that they didn't really do in the second. You know, some of the enemies don't appear, and it just had a more staticky know, template to it. You know, the I don't know. I mean, this game just feels like the more mature one between this one and the second one, even more so in the third one. But yeah, so. Yeah, this is a slick little stage right here. The fog effects really work. Pretty neat. You know, I don't know if the Sega Genesis could do stuff like this. I mean, there's so many folks who'd complain that like the Sega was better because it had, the censorship thing that I was talking about, but it just, that's the whole thing is the Super Nintendo did have the graphics thing. It could do stuff like this, so I don't know. I mean, it just depends upon how important graphics are, so I mean, they might have mattered 20 years ago, but they don't really matter now, so I think I might have actually sided with Sega back then. You know, I would have been mad if Nintendo was sitting there saying, like, we're not gonna... I mean, they have done stuff like that, so... It's just the difference. You learn something about yourself, had I been 20 back in 1995, I might have said something differently and shit. But alright, the next episode will be the finale. Stay tuned for that and subscribe for more fun. We're gonna get some videos cooking.